Peace be still. This is Azeem and listening to Gyaptooth. The year is 2077. Welcome forward to the future. I want to start off by telling you guys a story. It's all going to tie around in the end, all right? I used to be involved in a prison ministry for LL Research, the Law of One, information based on the raw material. Basically because the book had, the information had made its way around the federal prison system and these prisoners were writing in to the organization and, asking questions about the law of unity, and they needed people like myself who studied the philosophy to help answer the questions for these brothers, And the problem was I got really caught up into it because I saw these brothers as myself, and they're writing in about the things that they're going through and the struggles that they're having in there while trying to seek information and seek light. And I got caught up until they finally told me, Azeem, no diss, but you're starting to get polarized, into the, onto one side instead of seeing it from, all living things are bound by cords to every other living thing. The mysteries of unity, the law of one. You're being polarized. And the same thing happens to me with politics. When I tried to explain to y'all what was going on and point out the illusion to you, I got angry, upset, polarized. The next thing I knew, I was overboard. I was talking about quantum computers and time travel. But hey, we all change with the seasons, right? I'm changing with the seasons too. Everybody talks about retrograde. Me not into them thing there. I don't follow no retrograde business. I don't need no other excuse to be off. I follow whatever the radio station is telling me, and if I need to adjust the radio station and frequencies, I do what I have to do. And that's my suggestion to you. Indubitably.
Oh, Lord, here we go.
And moving forward, shout out to smartphones. Word up, my phone is a genius. Every time my lady is tripping, my phone be like, blip, blip, and just turns off. I'm like, hello? Hey, I don't know, the battery just started. Nah, we're going to get the co-host on in a minute.
Yeah, tell her call me.
Yeah. This is the time of year where Drake face Harry Belafonte, Negroes like myself turn different shades from reds and browns into other shades of yellow. We are like leaves, yeah, yes, and it's getting cold outside. So now it's like, it's always people during this time of year running up to me from bus stops, speaking Spanish, carrying hella bags, pointing at stuff. I don't speak Spanish, I'm sorry. Happens to me every time. This time of year, everybody think. The crazy thing is, I look like I should speak Spanish because both of my grandmas are from Panama. I should speak Spanish, but I don't, and I'm sorry. I cannot tell you where the beba is. I don't know.
You look Chinese to me.
If I knew, I'd be there dancing and doing the salsa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but if I knew, I'd be there, papi, mommy. Now, I do know how to order food though in Spanish. I'm gonna learn the essentials. I do know how to order food. That's why I'm gonna give y'all some game right now. Learn to order food in a foreign language. That's why I always take my first dates to the Mexican spot.
No, because you cheap, Zane.
And after a while of doing it, the restaurant, they get hip to what you're doing, so they treat you, they treat you good. When you walk in, I walk in like, hola. They go, hey, hola, ¿qué pasa, amigo? Hey, hola, la, la, la. And I'd be like, ¿qué pasó? And then they'd always ask me something in Spanish. I'd have no idea what they're saying. They'd be like, and I'd be like, sí. And then we'd come up to the register and they'd be like, what you want? And I'd be like, yeah, un burrito, por favor, y frijoles y negro, poquito queso, no lechuga, mucho picante, y arroz, por favor. And her eyes start gleaming. She's looking at me. I can see her looking at me, Then she order her little burrito, all uneducated, like the commoner she is. I'd like a burrito with chicken and,
Type of girl you be dating.
We go sit down and she be like, ooh, you speak Spanish? And I'll be like, yup. And she like, say something. And I'll be like, shit. Yo soy mucho picante sombrero por tu Carmelo Chihuahua. And she be like, ooh, what you say? What? I say, I'll tell you, but I have to kiss you first, girl, you know. Excuse me while I go wash my hands-o. Boom, you know, first date, boom, I would just be looking like James Bond up in the spot.
Like James Beige, Negro, not even James Brown.
I'm keeping it light, huh? The Asian spot?
I'll be sure in the building.
Oh, I brought you to the Asian. I brought you to a Haitian bakery. I didn't know, you know, at the time, I was like, let me get a chocolate croissant, girl. What you want? You know what I mean? Because I didn't really,
cheap, Zane.
you know what I'm saying? You was living all far away overseas. I was like, come on, you know what I mean? Anyway, man, I can't keep up with the fashion.
I can tell.
I cannot. I might be a dinosaur. You know what I mean? I might be a dinosaur. I just can't keep up with fashion. But I'm glad to see that baggy clothes are coming back now today in fashion. Like, I'm happy to see that, because the whole skinny jeans. See.
Okay, bro.
All right,
Thank
no,
you
look.
for the...
No, what I'm saying is you have to sag your
thank you.
pants. I'm just breaking down. If you wear skinny jeans, you have to sag, because that's the only way that they're gonna fit. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Now, if all right, dog. I'm not trying to be different. I'm just saying the whole.
I gotta get out of here.
All right, I'm glad to see that.
A co-host?
I'm glad to see that baggy
Oh my God.
clothing is coming back into fashion. That's all I'm saying. But like, if you every 3 seconds going to pull your pants up before we get into a fight, and every 3 seconds you pull your pants up, I'm gonna just time those 3 seconds.
That's true.
Anyway, I don't know. All right,
Because I want to knock you out right now. Can you move on? Thank you. Damn.
I'd like to continue the shout outs. I'd like to shout out white people for inventing yoga. Shit, straight up, you know. I don't know what the world would have done without that, you know. India Schmindia, as far as I'm concerned, you know. Because, like, they call it the Adu Murka Svanasana. You know what they call it? The downward doggy position. Let's do this again. The Adu Murka Svanasana.
Okay.
Or the downward doggy.
I mean,
Now,
one of them is easier.
I don't really know how you master something that you can't even be bothered to pronounce, but shout out. Vikings, kale, anything with raisins in it, any recipes with raisins in it, those 3 things.
Yeah, they got fried kale. They got all type of kale.
Tom Cruise and Febreze.
Febreze is the worst.
Febreze is a form of nasal trolling.
I hate Febreze.
Just trolling. Mayonnaise.
Chill.
Mayonnaise. Shout out for mayonnaise. If it wasn't for mayonnaise, there wouldn't be no Attica riots.
You stupid.
Nah, because the spark of the Attica riots was surrounding Rastas and Muslims protesting food, which affected the community. Without the Attica riots, there'd be no Bob Marley. That's what I'm saying. Nah, I was playing Bob Marley the other day at the beach, and the girl at next to me, not on my blanket, but like a blanket over. Excuse me, who's that you're listening to? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, Bob Marley?
Wow.
And she was like, the rolling paper guy? He makes music too? Oh my God.
You stupid. He's stupid.
I had to go home after that. I was like, I'm out of here.
Don't believe him, sweetheart. Don't believe him.
I didn't want to go home, right? Because my roommate was an asshole at the time. You know what I'm saying? He was an asshole.
That's true.
You know? And he was a Rasta. He was a Rasta ghost. Anybody ever have a Rasta ghost for a roommate? Nah, it's crazy.
I feel sorry for him.
It's crazy. Like at first, I didn't even know he was there. Like I just come home and I be smelling weed everywhere, and I'm thinking like, damn, my neighbor smokes hella weed because I wasn't smoking, you know, like. But I knew it. I'm like, damn, somebody smoked hella weed. But then all my neighbors started to come to me, knocking on my door, like, hey man, you got that? You got that? So after like so many neighbors asked me if I'm so now I'm selling weed, right? I'm selling weed to my neighbors, and it's all good. I'm making a little money on the side, but somehow I'm only making enough to break even. Like my whole building smokes, but I always only have enough money to re-up. I'm like, what is going on? Every day I come home, I smell weed. So then one morning I wake up and I decide I'm gonna make myself some pancakes and turkey bacon.
Okay.
And I can't find the turkey. Where's my turkey bacon? I'm looking. I just bought the turkey bacon, you know? Brand new. I remember placing it in the fridge. No turkey bacon. No, I'm looking in the garbage. I happen to look out of the window out of desperation. I see my turkey bacon outside on the sidewalk.
Oh, man.
What the hell is going on? I'm like, who the hell broke into my house and threw my turkey bacon out the window? You know? And I'm starting to put a few things together. I'm starting to realize, like, you know,
weird stuff. Like, remember dudes saw I was changing the radio station and stuff.
Like, what's going on, you know? And weird stuff starts happening.
Floating blunts going by.
So I decide I'm gonna move. Like, you know, I'm ready to move. This is some BS. Like, dude is messing with me and stuff. So I'm showing people would come by to look at the house. Like, hey, you know, and I walk around. I'm like, this is the kitchen, you know, this is the bathroom. And this dude gonna come creeping by the doorways talking about Bumba Clyde. People like, yo, what? Who's that? I'm like, oh no, don't trip. That's just my roommate. He's special. He's special. Don't just ignore him. Just ignore him. Bumba Clyde. Shut up. Heck, I'm mad, you know? So everybody gets scared, gets freaked out, and they leave. So I can't get out of the spot.
Crazy.
And then this white couple comes.
Oh.
Ross Clyde. Ooh, what was that? I'm like, and I'm tired of lying, you know. I'm like, that's my roommate. He's a ghost. He's a Rastafarian. He's always mad at some shit, you know. And they're like, what? You have a Rastafarian ghost? And I was like, yeah, you know. They're like, we'll take it. We love it. And I was like, oh, you like that? They were like, oh, we love it. We can't wait to chat with him. And I'm like, oh, perfect. So I'm like, nigga. So I'm like, oh, as I'm leaving, I'm like, oh, by the way, dude loves disco music and Febreze. He loved Febreze. Just spray that shit everywhere. Febreze. And bacon. He loves the shit out of some bacon all day. And left. Went to my new spot. I already had a new spot set up down the street. Got home, was like, oh, finally. Put my feet up, rolled the blunt, because now I got a weed habit. You know what I'm saying? It was a stressful. I start smoking, turn on the radio, nod in my head. I slowly start to doze off when I hear, hey, Roy, one for me, no, man. Yeah. What? Yeah, people tell me I'm not crazy. Look, it's like 12 people in here, man. Like in my own head. Look at this idiot I got on here with me, constantly talking over me and stuff like that. You know, everybody tell me you a hater, by the way. You give my he a hater. What's going on? What's the noise? All right, stop the. Nah, it's not me. Just stop the. Hold on. That was my phone, by the way, people. That's Sanaa just texted me talking about, tell me why me on Instagram this morning.
Well, that's what Instagram is, dog. What's the big deal?
Cause
don't even go there, bro.
No, you, my daughter.
Okay, yeah, say that.
If not, let him know.
No, and just move on, Azeem. This ain't the gossip hour. So just let it. from the AU tour. Yeah, we know you toured with these guys and that guys, and y'all had a great time and this and that happened. Let it go, Zing. Don't. Zing.
Trying to follow my daughter on Instagram. I don't know what's up with that.
This fool.
It's all good. I mean, I don't really. We toured Australia once together. I could tell some stories about that tour, but it won't really add up to nothing. Because the thing is, it's one thing being in the music industry and telling stories about yourself, and about how you grow and what you've done, but being amongst the brotherhood of artists or of thieves or of accountants, I don't care what.
Talk a lot.
You know what I mean? You don't put other people's stuff out there. Like I'm not here to do that. I don't do tell-alls. The only tell-all I do is on myself.
Okay, so
you know what I mean? It goes back to the weeds in the garden. I'm not pulling nobody weeds in nobody gardens other than my own, hopefully. You know?
Good. Exactly. So moving on.
But I yank the weeds out of his garden if he step funny to my daughter, I'll tell you that much.
Negro alert.
People easy to find.
Alert. This dude just jumped out the bag.
Yeah. I lost where I was at. We've gone 20 minutes. I don't really know if I should go any further than that. I was just checking in with the people.
Yeah, maybe you should. You gonna read a dictionary last time we spoke?
Got me on point. Shout out my homeboy Lek from Abu Dhabi. Hey, brother, I just found out your real name, you know what I mean? Because I never really looked at anyway. I just found out your real name.
She told you.
Papi Chulo. Shout out Papi Chulo. Found out you Mexican, my dude. You ain't from the Sudan. Stop lying. Nah, that's my brother. It's okay. I just found out my lady's from Thailand. Who knew? You know what I'm saying?
She just found out you not Brazilian or something, fool. She called you green card.
Oh, man. Also, shout out to my brother Adonis Pena.
That's my...
Your jeweler from another moolah.
Our sponsor. For real. That's our sponsor. Big up.
I don't know anybody else who has such a charismatic personality, has so much to talk about and so easy to get along with, who also happens to dig deep down into the earth and come up with special gems and things like that. There are things in the earth. You ever seen those huge crystal caves? Crystals that are like 12 and 22 feet tall.
Yeah.
Whole caves with these long stacked up crystals. And I've always told, like, that's where Bigfoot and them be going to meditate and all that. Like, there's things that live deep inside the earth that we don't know. Because remember, they have lakes and oceans and pure water and trees and mushrooms and animals, all types of things down there. It's like exploring space.
Anybody hiring?
You know? Which is
boring.
Which takes a lot of courage. Most of us are even too scared to explore our own self-consciousness. I think we're afraid of infinity in general, being mortal in this mortal shell. We look at infinity. We look out like into the ocean where we can't see no ending, and we think, wow, what would happen if I was like out there by myself in the middle of nowhere, of just water floating with nowhere to, you know. We see that with the desert, the ocean, with space. It's like there is no finish. It's just a mathematic distance where the wisest men and women are still struggling like infants, and the Pacific waters rise, and now we sing the songs of mystics. We carry weapons, but our wounds are self-inflicted. Pistols play the tunes of trumpets in the hands of the young and the gifted. We Western misfits, they tap our phones and take our pictures against the odds. We travel with our bodies, listless like flying discs, as if the skies were made of liquid and protect the flesh. Evolve beneath the star of Sirius, rise like dust from Roman chariots and the nets of greed. From broken jungles, we've seen buildings bleed, still ain't humbled, and they crumbled like grease. Oh, can't you see? They would lay broken glass at the Christ's feet. And the greatest mystery is there is no mystery. The greatest mystery is there is no, the greatest mystery is there is no mystery. And that's the only truth we'll need for peace.
Gyaptooth.
And I'm out.
Man, y'all see what I'm dealing with over here? You gotta help me out. I'm telling you, this guy got me living in the basement. SOS. He feed me vegan food, talks all type of crazy stuff. He makes up words. Help me out. If anybody's hiring, looking for a host, make sure you press subscribe and the like button as well, because the boy needs help.